right, let's try a couple more examples. Here in part A, it's set up nicely. My equation is already equal to 0. So on the left side, to factor, I can factor by grouping because there are 4 terms. My GCF of my first group is x squared. My GCF of my second group is -2. If I factor out x squared from my first group, that leaves x minus 5. If I factor out -2 from my second group, that also leaves x minus 5. That's perfect. Now I have my binomial GCF of x minus 5 that factors out. That leaves x squared minus 2 equals 0. I cannot factor anymore. Now I will use zero product property. X minus 5 equals 0 or x squared minus 2 equals 0. My first equation I solve by adding 5, x equals 5. For my second equation, I'll add 2, x squared equals 2. Then remember to cancel a square, I take a square root. So x is positive or negative square root 2. So to summarize my answers, x equals 5 or plus or minus square root 2. Here in my next example, once again, it's already set equal to 0. That's nice. I see my trinomial on the left has a GCF of 3x. That leaves 2x squared minus 9x minus 18 equals 0. So now, So now for this trinomial, I factor this by guess and check. Remember that these first 2 slots have to multiply to make the first term, and these last 2 here have to multiply to make the last term. So for 2x squared, that's 2x and x, that's pretty easy. Now -18, there's a few options, but I am going to think strategically here on where I place my numbers so I get -9x. And I'm going to do -6 and +3. Because now if I check my smiley faces, I have 3x minus 12x, which is -9x. Now I'll use my zero product property. 3x equals 0, or 2x plus 3 equals 0, or x minus 6 equals 0. My first equation I divide by 3, x equals 0. My second equation I subtract 3, then I divide by 2. And my last equation I add 6, x equals 6. So x equals 0, -3/2, and 6 as a summarized answer.